Hello all, my name is Maya. I will be studying abroad in Cusco, Peru. Today is Monday and I leave this Friday. But before I leave, I wanted to give you a couple of tips and recommendations and considerations when it comes to choosing the best study abroad program for you. So I think one of the most important factors for myself and for other people when it comes time to study abroad is choosing something that is cost effective and that's not going to break the bank. So things to consider that are financial related are more than what you probably are thinking about right now, which is why I'm making this video. So first of all, you're going to have the price of the application to study abroad. Then you're going to have the price of the program itself, and think about the payment plans that they have set up and how easy it's going to be for you to pay off that remaining balance before it's time for you to leave. Now also consider what the price of that program includes. Does it include, housing, food, transportation to and from your living arrangements to your host university / internship? Does it include maybe even like bottled water if it's not sanitary to drink in that country? Will it include excursions, and how many trips are you going to get to go on while you're away? Also, will they cover even simple things like textbooks while you're there? And those are questions that you could easily email the study abroad coordinator, director at that program and find out. A huge thing that I see people overlook and that I overlooked myself the first time that I traveled abroad, it wasn't a study abroad, but a travel abroad, is things all related to travel and those expenses. So first of all, does the country that you're going to require a visa for US citizens or wherever you're from? Do they require immunizations to even enter the country and specific medications? So for example, I needed a yellow fever vaccination before I traveled to Accra, Ghana in 2015. And so I got that, and all the medications, including the anti-malarial medication, that racked up a couple $100 even before I left the country. But thankfully that yellow fever vaccination is rolling over. It's still within date, and I can use that in Peru. Even though it's not required, it's still within date, so that will be helpful while I'm there. Also, how much is the flight? That could be upwards $1,000 or more considering what time you're away and when you buy your tickets. So definitely be scouting out that kind of thing before you even choose your program, because you might see a $8,000 program and then totally forget that the flight itself might cost $1,000 or more, plus the other accommodations and medications and everything else that goes into it. So consider that a lot before you pick your program. Okay, so now that we're on the money subject and everything, don't think that just because a program is expensive and that it has a lot of financial requirements that go into it, it doesn't mean that you can't go. Think about the scholarships that are available through your host university as well as your home university, and outside applications that you can fill out to get scholarship money or fellowships or grants or whatever you need to go abroad. But really think about, is it cost effective? So if you can spend $10,000 to study, business in, let's say, China, and you could spend $8,000 to study business in Germany, weigh the costs and benefits of both programs and think about really what's cost effective for you and what will be sustainable over that time while you're away. Another thing that people don't consider is timing. So if you're going during the school year, like your academic year, over one of the semesters, consider all the things that you will be missing during that semester. Are you opting out not to take a specific course that you could have been and that you wanted to take? Are you overlooking like big events that are happening during that time in the school year? And if you're going over the summer, think about what you're giving up during that timing. So for example, the duration of my program is only 5 weeks. But I've been home for 3 weeks, I leave for 5 weeks, and then I come home for another month and a half before I leave to go back to university for resident advisor training early. So it was nearly impossible for me to find a professional internship and job that wanted me for 3 weeks, was going to let me leave for 5 weeks, and then was going to have me come back for a month and a half. I had a couple interviews, and they really liked me, but the go-to response for them when it came to responding to me was basically I didn't have enough time and I should go back next year when my timing's better. So consider the things that you're going to give up and where your priorities are. And if anything, try to combine your priorities. So now that looking back, I kind of wish that I would have applied for internships abroad so that I could have got the study abroad experience while doing something professional related and getting credits. Consider timing when it comes to not only like how long you're there and the duration and price, but also how long it's going to take you to immerse in that culture and get used to it. So for example, if you're from Southern California and you're used to it being basically warm year round, and then you buy, a winter jacket and gloves and you invest in like thermal layers and you go to Argentina, like southern Argentina for some reason, and you're there for 2 weeks, not only was that probably not cost effective, you also didn't have a lot of time to immerse yourself in the culture to make it worthwhile for you to go. I mean, maybe that's just me and my thoughts, but personally, if I was going to invest money and time and resources into going abroad, I would want to make it a longer period of time so that I can really get like a grasp of the culture there. Something else to think about is your personal like well-being and like your mental health and physical health while you're abroad. So if you know that like you get stressed super easily and you're anxious a lot of the time and you're not good at like a lot of change at once, well then it might not be the best decision for you to go to, a developing country where you have to drink bottled water because it's not clean, where you don't know the language at all and you haven't studied it, where you're in a host family and you have to travel, 30 minutes by bus to your university and a lot of other factors. So consider like how immersive the program is going to be for you, how well you know that you can handle it as a person, because even though study abroad is meant to stretch you and make you grow, if you're going to be miserable the entire time that you're away, it's probably not worth it for you to choose a program that's stretching you so far to like the breaking point. So pick something wisely, and you know yourself the best. So choose something that you think that you will find valuable and that you'll enjoy, not just something that someone else recommends to you or that your friend said like, oh, it was great, so you should go. Because we're all individuals and we have different needs and things to consider when picking our own study abroad. So even though I was saying, you don't want to pick a program that stretches you to the breaking point and that makes you so uncomfortable the entire time that like you're not having a good time and you're not focusing on your academics or like the experience at hand, you should be picking a program that stretches you and makes you uncomfortable some of the time, at least. If you don't feel uncomfortable during any of your program, then you probably didn't pick one that was very immersive at all. You're going to want to pick a program that forces you to use the language and that forces you to learn a different culture. Otherwise, what was the point of even leaving home, just to go sightseeing? Because you can be a tourist anytime, but you don't always get the opportunity to study abroad. So with that being said, overall, I just have to say choose a country wisely and choose one that's going to give you the best experience for like the time that you put into it, the money that you put into it, and the effort that you put into studying abroad. Choose a country that's going to stretch you to your full potential, that's going to force you to use the language, that's going to open you up to like whole new cultural experiences, and that overall you're going to enjoy, but that you're going to grow through.